In today's Insider, we are talking Knicks with our Knicks Insider, Daily News Knicks beat writer Stefan Bondy, who joins us from the Garden. So, of course, he is getting ready to cover tonight's Knicks-Nets game. Steph, so many twists and turns. What on earth is the latest with Joakim Noah?
Well, the latest is he wasn't at practice yesterday. The Knicks said he's not going to be here today for the game, and his future is in limbo. The problem is that there's not a clear path to a separation, even though both sides would like that, unless Joakim decides to give up a big chunk of his money in a buyout situation. Now, you can kind of understand where Joakim is coming from. He's 32. He's only 32 years old. He's a former Defensive Player of the Year. He worked hard to get his shoulder back, right? He feels he deserves to play. But, you know, the situation doesn't lend itself right now for him playing in the Knicks. They have Billy Hernangomez, they have Kyle O'Quinn. And really the only way I can see this working out for both sides, if at the trade deadline, the Knicks move Kyle O'Quinn, and that would open up some minutes potentially for Joakim Noah to play. I think that's the best solution for both sides right now.
But can they get over whatever this spat was? You tweeted out today, and people continue to report, this was a very, very serious situation that got very heated.
Yeah, I mean, it was. From what I heard, the two went at it at practice. It was a very heated argument. Now, it stopped short of getting physical, but when a coach and a player get into it like that in front of a team, you have to wonder what kind of message it sends when you send a guy on basically what amounts to a pat on the back and say, you know, go ahead, go home and cool off, and then bring him back. You wonder what kind of message that sends to the rest of the team.
You mentioned the trade deadline and how it would affect Noah. How about just the whole team? Kristaps Porzingis says he wants the Knicks to be buyers at the trade deadline next week. But are they more likely to be sellers here?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're going to be sellers, and that's where they should be right now. You know, you can understand why Kristaps Porzingis would say that. He wants to make the playoffs. He hasn't been in the playoffs, and this is now his year 3. But realistically, where the Knicks are at right now, they're not in a position to be buyers and take on different players and be in a position to make a playoff push. This isn't baseball or football where if you get in the playoffs you have a chance to win a championship. The Knicks have a low ceiling. They should be sellers at the trade deadline, and that's the way they're approaching it right now.
All right, as you battle through the elements at the Garden, let me ask you, which Knicks players are getting the most interest from around the league?
Well, from what I heard, it's Billy Hernangomez, and you can understand why. You know, based on his performance last season when he was an all-rookie selection, teams view him as an intriguing prospect that's on a team-friendly contract. Kyle O'Quinn is getting some interest for win-now teams, but he has a player option at the end of this season, so teams are treating him as a loan, and you're not going to get back much for a loan. Courtney Lee, the market has been lukewarm for him. The problem with him is that his contract is so big. He's already in his 30s, so even though he's a reliable player, teams are wary about taking on that contract.
All right, has Trey Burke supplanted Frank Ntilikina in playing time?
Your Knicks City Dancers.
Well, I wouldn't say supplanted. Jeff Hornacek told us from the beginning of Trey Burke's emergence that they're just not going to have a longer leash with Frank Ntilikina, and what that means is he's not going to be able to play through his mistakes. If he starts playing poorly, they'll bring in Trey Burke. That's not an ideal situation for a 19-year-old rookie like Frank Ntilikina. My preference would be to see both of those guys play together in the backcourts, because scouts have told me they think Frank Ntilikina's position of the future is shooting guard. But certainly one thing that should happen moving forward, certainly if the Knicks fall out of the playoff race, is a reduction in Jarrett Jack's minutes. That would open up more time for Trey Burke and Frank Ntilikina.
You know, Steph, most people don't know this about you. I believe you are a choreographer for the City Dancers. I think they need you back down there to finish off their practice. We appreciate you battling.
They don't
through the
want me
elements.
down there, but let's try to say